Hello, thank you for joining me tonight. I go by Lune Innate, and this reading, I gave it away. This video is going to include a tarot card reading, specifically because I didn't intentionally record a new moon video for the recent new moon in Scorpio. But when I went to do it, or when I was contemplating it, all the things that I wanted to talk about the Scorpio new moon were very much related to the most recent video that I did, which was an energetic cleansing and focusing on the zeal chakra. So I thought, nobody wants to see the same video twice, or I'm certainly not really pumped about making the same video twice. So I thought that it would be helpful maybe to focus on the transition from Scorpio energy. We're currently in the sun sign of Scorpio, and we are about to enter the sun sign of Sagittarius. Now, sometimes when we're transitioning when the sun is transitioning, moving through the zodiac, it can be a bit intense. It can be a bit uncomfortable. I would say a good example of that is when we're coming from like the Leo energy of the end of summer, and we're very much in our own lion-y energy of being confident, everything kind of like working out, just like vibing and being in like this zone on ourselves, and it's really personal and uplifting and fun, I want to say, into like Virgo energy, and that being like super analytical and a bit uptight, a bit like, oh, let's get serious, back to work, like that kind of thing. That can be a bit of a shock to the system. Now, I don't specifically see a problem or any upcoming, tension for shifting between Scorpio into Sagittarius. In fact, most likely it will be a welcome kind of feeling, because Sagittarius is more focused on truth, like personal truth. By that, it could be a good example would be something like if you've read the book The Alchemist, like going on some kind of journey and finding this like truth through your experiences, and really learning about yourself within and your own power and the power of the universe, or something really heavy and out there like that. But also Sag has a very fun vibe, I would say, like a very playful and adventurous sort of energy as well. So, that might be a bit more comfortable than the Scorpio season. So what I'm going to be doing is a five card reading to see where we are now, where we're coming from, what we should do, like clear advice or some type of straight guidance. I want to look into the hidden influences, if there are any, or what might be working behind the scenes, and then the potential outcome. After this reading, I'm just going to chat with you a little bit and share some stuff that I've been working on, and just show you some things and just share some stuff, I guess. Now, when I say the potential outcome, I like to remind everyone who gets a reading ever, or even it's like from zodiac or energy reading, nothing is set in stone. So whenever you hear potential outcome, good or bad, it's not set in stone. So don't just assume everything's going to work out, and don't, think that things are not going to work out. We all have free will, basically. So there's going to be a level of personal involvement to get something done or to avoid something. So just keep that in mind. I like to keep my tarot cards in a bag. I'm gonna be doing that this whole video. I've been like switching words all day, calling my son Bamba and my dog Howl. My son and I went to the mall today. He begged me, and while we were there, he got his Santa pictures taken. I didn't even want to do it. He was into it. I was like, okay. And then we went to Build-A-Bear. And we got a bear that smells like cotton candy. I want this video to be relaxing for you, so I'm gonna just play a little with how I talk and the noises, the sounds and whatnot. So okay, so to shuffle these cards, I'm gonna just hold it over here and hope it's not too loud for you. Am I in focus? I think so. Let's just check it out. It's hard to tell with this thing. I think I'm good. Alright, so I'm focusing to put the intention into the cards for this reading to be general enough to apply, or be open enough to apply to, all of us. The danger in that is that I might end up sounding very vague in my communication to you, and I don't want to do that. But usually when I set an intention for it to work for multiple people or a crowd, usually my thoughts are not as clear. So let's say I'm working one-on-one with someone, or I'm doing my own cards. It's a lot easier for me to give more detailed information. And when it's vague, it's like this clarity comes, but it's not super precise, if I could say it that way. If you guys out there are readers at all, I would love to hear your opinion on that. If you guys find that to be true to you too. It makes sense, I guess. I like to charge my cards. Just let my energy and attention flow into them. So when I pull these cards, what I'm going to do is kind of look at each one and get like a general first take on the card. And then I'll go back and read it more like a story, because sometimes they make more sense once the other cards are laid out as well. This reading, this 5-card reading, is probably one of the most basic kind of readings you can do, but I find it to be just perfect. Like, I go to it very often. And when I'm doing a reading for myself or for anyone else, after I've shuffled the cards, I kind of like arrange them so they're as neat as possible, and then I just kind of cut the deck, so like that, and then I work from this and I just pull them out. So this card will be the current situation, the question, if there is one, but basically where we are now, the present circumstance. This card would be the past influences, which might be having some, may have led to where we are now. Pretty simple. This card would be what we should do, or the guidance, like the more clear guidance. This would be the past influences, or I'm sorry, the hidden influences, what we might not see as being having an effect on the situation or question. And this will be the potential outcome. Additionally, I like to pull a oracle deck, an oracle card, see? And I really love this one. It's the Trust Your Vibes deck. It goes with the book Trust Your Vibes. You might have seen me talk about this before because I really do like it. And I like to shuffle these and pull one because these cards specifically give really easy to read, easy guidance that can be applied very quickly. Like right away you can apply this. These ones are noisier. So I'm just setting intention to receive clear, applicable guidance. And again, I just cut the deck and then I use that card. So I'll put it at the top. I do like oracle cards because they come with like really nice books, whereas like tarot cards come with these like little poopy books. They're helpful when you need them, but you know, sometimes when you're just getting started, you want that reassurance. Alright, so the card for the current situation, the Prince of Pentacles. Now, this guy has an earthy vibe, like all pentacles do. You see a goat standing on a cliff over here. He looks like he's looking off into the distance. He looks confident but contemplative. So we'll see how that plays out. I can't really give a good situation on that at first. The card in reverse, or I'm sorry, the past influences is a card in reverse, which you just read it a little differently. And it is the Three of Cups. This is a couple, very kind of sensual card. These like lovers or kind of dancers, just like fitting very well together with these cups running over. This might signify something that you've been working on with a person or a partnership of some kind. That could be romantic, that could be a friendship, or any type of situation like that. Certainly looks to be one-on-one, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And these overrunning cups in reverse for me typically symbolize instability or letting things kind of like drain out or bleed out in such a way that they're not directed. So in the same way that water can be put into a water pistol and shot, it can also just, leak out of the pistol and, not really be directed at anything and just kind of make a mess. So that kind of comes into mind for that. The card for what we should do is the Five of Wands. Wands is a fiery symbol. You have two guys kind of battling. They certainly seem to be arguing at first, but this can also be interpreted as training as well. So we'll see how that comes in, but looks like having to maybe fight for what you believe in. The fact that they're on this, I want to say like they're on the same team in a sense, like I see wands as being like on the same team. So it's almost like having to lead a group, or I don't want to say lead a group, but like put your information, put your opinion into a group scenario, or for the good of more of the collective, so that you can kind of help to guide a group or guide a relationship even. And just because they're fighting doesn't mean it's like going to be turmoil. It could also just be like an inner fight for you, because that might be a challenge. The hidden influences is the Princess of Wands. Another this card always looks like so sensual to me. I know it's just like a picture of a girl, but like the picture is very, she's kind of a babe. Anyway, so this woman's confident, she's young, she has a lot of knowledge and wisdom for a young age, and she's kind of a go-getter. But in reverse, that could reflect more of a what's the right word for that? Not a standstill, but maybe that go-getter or confidence being a little misguided, or not being directed in the best place for you. For me, whenever the wand or sword specifically is in this position, so let's say like the Ace of Swords, the Ace of Wands, or anyone where I see just like one wand in the center or sword, and you turn it over, it kind of looks like it flips the position to be like kind of pointed at you in a sense, like at the reader almost. So it's kind of like bringing your attention back to kind of like inner transformation, or how you can shift what you might have set your sights on, what you might find yourself to be so knowledgeable about, to look at that again. That one's not super clear for me right off the bat, but let's see how the story plays out. It's funny that I said that right. So here's the Ace of Swords. So this is what I mean. It's like, that's how it is, but then when it's upside down, it's almost like it's like when you're holding it in your hand, it's almost like it's like pointing at you. This is a great card. It usually means like success, triumph, and just like it's like a just really good card to get. Like, yeah, you did it, you won, like that kind of thing. But when it's this way, it kind of and this card never really turns out to be bad necessarily. But when it's to me facing more at you, it's kind of like showing the two sides of the sword, like not double-edged sword, but like how the sword has like it's sharp on both edges. So it kind of shows us to be a little more fluid, you could say, specifically because the sword is the sign more the symbol related to the air signs, or the energy of air, which is much more how do you say it, like how Aquarius is more visionary, a lot of ideas, has to do with technology. So this might be kind of saying that the potential outcome is either being able to see both sides of something, similar to both sides of the coin, but specifically in action, like both sides to how something can get done, and being able to, I guess that's like the best way I can say it. And again, like, see how these readings come out so vague when they're directed to be vague and helping a lot of people, or at least connecting with a lot of people. But the reading that I can see is that the current situation that we're in, it's almost like we've reached the top of the mountain. We've reached this achievement. You have the flag, you have the goats, or I guess it's a goat. Could be like a young kind of stag of some kind. But anyway, for me, I see it at being kind of like the top of the mountain. This won't focus very well, but you can see it's over here. There's the flag. This guy's kind of like, I got this done, but where am I going next? Like that kind of thing. I think a lot of us right now have a surplus of ideas and opportunities and things that we could be working on, or projects and things like that. So this guy's kind of like, okay, I made it, I did something, I achieved something. That could be personal within us, that could be external, but we're kind of at a place of like, what's next? What got us here is this instability, and you can almost see that, you know how I said that this looks like it's like one-on-one, but it could be a group. It also almost looks like these are like siblings or male and female energy of the same thing as well. So this kind of leads me to think that this is maybe a personal imbalance of female and male energy that might have been going on within us through maybe the Scorpio season, and that the discomfort may have come from this, like, I don't say sloppiness, that's not what I mean, but this like instability of those two energies potentially. So maybe you were leaning a little too into, and you know, for a reason, I don't mean it was a bad thing, but a little too into the feminine energy, and or maybe too into the masculine energy. So feminine energy being very receptive and intuitive and contemplative and clairvoyant and maybe more spiritual, while the masculine energy is typically more logical and action based and like, I'm gonna go get it, like that kind of thing. So maybe if those were imbalanced within you, that might have been causing the instability there. But the task seems to have been done, and you're kind of at a state of balance right now. In the what should we do, it looks like there's gonna be, I'm saying a fight, but I don't mean it like that, a personal challenge. And this might be with yourself, it might be with with family, with a team of some kind, with something that you want to lift up. So you have to kind of like challenge yourself, fight yourself in a way, to put yourself out there. So it's kind of like that, I don't want to say a war, because it's not a war against good or evil, but sometimes there has to be a sacrifice of some kind for the betterment of everyone. And that's kind of what it feels like. It also kind of shows that like these two look very evenly matched, you know, like they each have two wands, they're both about the same size, they even have a similar look. So it's kind of like fighting yourself in a sense too, like the battle is in you, and there's gonna have to be something to be decided on. However, you could also play this into, like I said before, challenging yourself to help give some information, give your 2 cents, give your opinion or your strategy or something that will help and lift other people up as well. This lovely lady, the hidden influences, I feel like this puts it back on us, but I guess her negative traits, if you have to say negative for it being in reverse, would maybe be vanity, being a little too sure of ourselves, because she is very confident, and that's a beautiful thing. But the downside of that is, you know, being overly confident or falsely confident in things, or justly confident, but that kind of closes us off to things as well. So just something to keep in mind, our hidden influences and the potential outcome whether we're battling ourselves to have some kind of like 2 sides coming together for one kind of thing, or it's an inner challenge to express and provide something to a group in some way, or that could be a partnership, a relationship as well. This kind of shows us that the potential outcome is seeing that there's more than one way to get something done. and that when we challenge ourselves, but we're also connected to our heart, that those options will come to us. So when we're on a personal level, not something that I'm seeing necessarily in this reading, but when you have more than one option or more than one way to get things done, or more than one paths to take, or anything like that, it's always good to go with what feels right to you. I would say that challenges are a good thing, but it shouldn't feel bad. It should always, when you're led by your heart, things tend to feel good, more or less, more good, less not good. So let's see where our oracle card is. So this is a one that I get all the time. Cloak yourself in light. It's more about protection, casting your aura, watch a Reiki video, do something for yourself in terms of visualization to cast yourself in your aura in a white light, and remember to protect yourself, and not only protect your auric field, but protect your mental plane as well. And don't be so closed off so that you're not open to the flexibility of life and things that come up and all of that, but protecting yourself from lower energies. This is something that I spoke on actually, or I just wrote about, because I had a shop update today. I'll put the link below, but I just uploaded I think 14 necklaces. Oh my gosh, that's probably one of the biggest ones I've done in a long time. But I was speaking about a stone specifically, and sometimes protecting yourself can be as simple as protecting your mental plane when you're, for example, around people who you have to be around people who are negative or who complain a lot. And when you're protecting yourself from that negativity or from that kind of thought pattern or that way, that way about you, it can really pay off to just say these are not my thoughts. I don't participate in this. I don't participate in that kind of gossip or that kind of negative speaking about someone else or just complaining about life in general. So I hope that you gained something from that. Certainly vague, so I hope it was at least enough clarity to reach something. I would say it certainly meant something to me. I definitely have come to a point where I'm kind of at the top of my little mountain, and I'm looking at the other mountains, and I'm kind of which one do I climb first? Alright, so for the more oh, hello, Bomba. Can you see him? You're so cute. Now that I touched him, he's gonna keep begging me to pet him. I'll bet you $1. See? Alright, so some things that I wanted to share with you guys, and forgive me because some of this is letting you know that I have a shop update and other things like that. But okay. So, I'm gonna get Mama, can you sit? I love you. Right, so you're probably just gonna hear Bomba walking around for a little bit. I'm sorry for that noise. He's too cute to kick out. So what I'm gonna do is show you some of my necklaces because I get asked about these a lot. In terms of reaching my own mountaintop, some of you know this, but I recently closed down my shop. It's open now again, but I closed it down for nearly 3 weeks because I was just getting to a point where I was becoming I wasn't drained yet, but I saw it happening, and I know through my experience with teaching others or encouraging others to, take care of themselves, I know that when I see that coming, it's time, take a break, reevaluate, because I could see that the way I was doing things would not hold up for me much longer. I wasn't the energy wasn't like equal, I guess I could say. So I closed down my shop. I reevaluated where I think I want to take things, and it's time to start some different projects. So I got a lot of that kind of stuff done, laying the groundwork for them. And one of the projects that I got done was my own shirt, which Rachel Jean helped me with, hugely helped me with, and I'll go into that a little bit. But I also got some of these necklaces done. I love these necklaces, guys. Like, I know they're not like the most beautiful things in the world, but they mean so much to me, and I want to walk you through a little bit of my process in creating them. I've already uploaded these today, so they're on my site, and actually I think these ones are already bought, but they sell pretty quickly, I will say. The last update I had was just this past Friday, so I actually was very busy this month on creating these necklaces. And the last one I had 10, the last update I had 10, and I think I sold 8 like within the first 2 days. So I was like, oh my gosh, let me make some more while I'm very committed to doing so. One of the things that I took down from my shops I'm actually not offering currently is the custom necklaces offering, because as much as I love making those for people, it really is a lot of work for me to, like, even just in my mind, like shifting gears, like, oh wait, I gotta go back to making necklaces. Like, I might be like gaining a little traction on something, and I'll get an order, and I'm grateful and I love it, and I don't want to say that I'm not grateful and I don't appreciate it and it's not something I treasure, but I could see myself going back to doing this, or for the like one-on-one Reiki sections as well. I had to like take those down because I kept getting drawn back to that and wasn't gaining any traction in these projects that I wanted to do. So I'll show you one of the necklaces, the closest one, which is a selenite, a peach selenite. So I know that these are not the most beautiful things in the world, and nor am I claiming they would be or meant to be. What I want these to be is comfortable. So the cord has to be comfortable. I want them to be able to just like throw it on so that you have your little stone friend with you through the day. I have lots of crystal earrings and like jewelry with like silver or other metals, and as much as I love them and I think that they're gorgeous, sometimes I just want to wear like a sweatshirt and I don't want like my hair to get tangled in the clasp. Like, I don't know about you guys and gals, but like my hair gets like wrapped around things like very easily. So when I started making these, I really wanted them to be comfortable, and I've actually been making these for about 2 years now, like where I actually sell them and make them. I know that isn't super long, but 2 years is a lot of experience for me. And they kind of look like this. So this is a peach selenite one. And yeah, I just want them to be like really casual and comfortable to throw on. I like them to be long. I try to make them all hit around the solar plexus for the most part. And I love having a stone with me throughout my day. It's really what inspired me to start making these. I didn't start making them with the intention to sell them. I was making them for myself, and someone would see me wearing it, usually like a friend, and ask me to make one, and then somebody would ask me for another one. So that's kind of where it started to take shape, and now I make them all the time. It's one of my main things that I do. The other thing that I got done, and I'm so excited about, is I have a merch shirt, which feels so strange to me. I'm not going to keep up a merch shirt, but this is the design. It has like these healing hands, the like Isis face, and the sacred geometry of Metatron's cube. It's so soft, and the ink is in the fabric. It doesn't lay on top, so it's water-based. And I went with a small shop, a small business in the States to get this done. And I worked with Rachel Jean. We worked together. It wasn't just that, I don't mean to say that it was good of me, but it was important for me to pay her. So I don't want you to think I just like, get people to do things for me. And Rachel was incredibly wonderful to work with. But she's a professional, so I need to treat artists as the professionals that they are. I'm really pleased with how it turned out. There's definitely some things I would do differently next time, but for a first go, I think it was great. Yeah, I'm really excited about them. To be honest, like having merch feels really silly for me, but it's kind of like something that it was easy for me to get started on in terms of this other project that I have that I want to get started for 2018. And it's like I can play with Lune Innate stuff and have it be, like it's fine. It makes sense. It's fine. Whereas for my next stuff, it won't necessarily be Lune Innate. It'll be its own thing. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to take the wind out of my sails, but just to give you an idea, anything that I like make off of these shirts will go back to kind of start funding this bigger project that will hopefully help other people as well. Like that's the goal. And I'll just leave it at that. And I will add that I'm very excited to work with more artists and, support other small businesses and things along that nature. So the last little update that I have for tonight is back to small businesses, actually. I have a soft spot for them. Clearly, I am a small business myself, and I've only been doing it for 2 years. I am nowhere near, where I truly, truly want to be. I shouldn't say that. I am very happy where I am, and I'm very grateful for all the experiences, but I'm not like at the end of the thing, or I'm not really saying that right, but I hope you know what I mean. So I've been kind of playing with this idea for a little while, and you may have heard me talk about it in my Instagram story, but I wanted this channel, this platform to get big enough where it made sense. So now that we're over 20,000 subscribers, thank you guys so much. It makes sense now. It's something that could be helpful. So what I've done is kind of put it out there to other small businesses, readers, small shops that are kind of in the realm of what we're all about on this channel, and ask them if there's anyone out there who would like to basically sponsor a giveaway, a monthly giveaway. And I've already been in touch with a wonderful shop who I don't know personally. We've never really communicated beyond going back and forth on Instagram. But she has been so incredible, like the owner of it has been so incredibly supportive of me. She just like will tag me, will share my videos and give me shout outs and stuff. And that means so much to me. That is like such a huge compliment that you would even be willing to like be like, hey, I'm into this, or hey, you might like this. Like that's one of the biggest compliments I could ever get. So that's not why, she was just the first one to reply, really. I'm not like, oh, you have to do this to be included in this. I don't mean it that way. It just so happens that, it worked out that way, which makes it even more special for me. So she's going to be hosting the December giveaway. So I'll have more information about that. But I used to do these monthly giveaways. And what I ended up doing was, instead of doing them on YouTube, I now do 2 giveaways for my patrons. So basically, I just send them a small gift. It's not usually like very, very big. If you guys have received one of these gifts, maybe you could comment whether you liked it or not or something. If not, that's totally cool. But I moved it so that instead of having one on Patreon and one on YouTube, I put them both on Patreon because I feel like this was a better way for me to give back to the people who are, taking time and, going, not even time, but like really like going into their energy, their wallets, and like being supportive of the channel. I felt that was like a better for me to do. However, the fact that now we have this platform where we can do a giveaway here and we can get the name and the information for another small shop out there. I'm not going to just be doing like any person who offers. Like, I want to make sure that it makes sense. But the shop Cat, it's CCAT, I think it's Cat Love, CCAT Love. I want to say it's like crystals, cards, and tarot, or something like that. I'm sorry, it's not like coming clear to me right now. I'm having a language issue today. But she donated a whole bunch of stuff, like 2 hats, 2 pins, some beautiful crystals. I was like, oh my gosh, like, girl, you're going above and beyond here. So I'm super excited to show that stuff to you guys. I have a picture. She's going to be the one mailing it, so I'm not really going to get my hands on anything. I want it to come directly from the shop to you. Cut out the middleman. You don't need me involved in that. But being a small business is tough. And having a platform of people, a community of people that we're all kind of into this stuff, or at least we're open to it, or we want to see what other shops there are. Like, I get asked so many times like where to buy stuff, which is why I always include Monk and Moon in my video description, because I absolutely love Monk and Moon. Like, that's my favorite shop. But there's tons of other places, and I certainly don't get all my crystals from Monk and Moon. I get tons of crystals from other places. So I think that it's fair, more than fair, to give people a chance to like get their stuff out there a little bit. So I hope you guys are excited about that. It comes from a very good place of sharing some really awesome shops, letting them get their name out there a little, or just helping in some way. Who knows how it's going to play out? Like, I can't make any promises. I hope that it drives some traffic, some sales for them. But either way, it's very generous of them to donate for a giveaway. And like, I'm super excited to start in December. So I hope that you guys are interested in that as well. Yeah, so I'm just going to play with this shirt because it's so freaking soft. So my camera actually died while I was talking about this. So I wanted to say some things in case I got cut off. But bump a lid on it already. But the company that I went with is a small business in the States. These shirts are made in the States. They're like a US brand shirt. The tag is like really easy to rip off. In terms of the sizings, one of the things that I messed up on is that I didn't order enough extra larges. This is all kind of stuff that like I've been paying for out of my pocket, and it adds up. So like, I didn't want to go crazy and buy a whole bunch of stuff that nobody liked. I think that kind of makes sense. So I've already put in an order for more extra larges, more larges, and more mediums. A few more mediums, and mostly large and extra large. So if you're interested, and we've already, some of you might have already talked to me about it, but you can now order a large or an extra large through pre-order through my shop. So whatever is there that's a medium, small, or extra small, that would come sooner. But if it's a large or extra large, it could take up to 4 weeks. I think it would be less than that, but like I said in the description on the listing, is that I'd rather err on the side of caution. Like, I don't want to say, oh, you'll have it in 3 weeks, and it takes 4 weeks. I would feel horrible. So if you're interested in that, I'll just put the link to that there as well. It's kind of uncomfortable for me to talk about my business here, but I'm trying to get over that, because it's not like I do it all the time, and this is what I do, this is part of my life. And in a way, I hope that if you're trying to do something for yourself and create something for yourself and do things that you love and that you're interested in, that that, I don't want to say it inspires you, but it encourages you to know that you can do that. You can carve your own path and do things your own way and be fulfilled and all those wonderful things. So thank you guys so much for making my last shop update so successful. And this one, I only announced it recently, and I've already sold, like, in the time that I was talking and showing you the orange selenite, the peach selenite, it's already been sold. There's a lot of other really beautiful stone buddies, and how I make them, sorry I'm jumping all over, but when I make these, I'm very, very focused when I'm making them, and I put a lot of energy and time into all of it. I meditate while I'm braiding, and I put intention and play like mantras and soothing frequencies and healing frequencies as I'm knotting them, and try to like have this energy like flow from my fingertips as I'm making these braids. And then I charge the stone with Reiki and put intention into them as well. And just like really, like, it's very meditative and spiritual process for me to create these. Like, I was just joking with my friend earlier today. I'm like, well, I'm not sitting on the couch watching Simpsons, making these. I'm like, it's a very sacred process, which is why I feel that from my experience so far, they resonate really well with people. And I'm so grateful for that, because to make something with your hands and put your energy and your love and even just like your style a little into something and have someone love it, or wear it all the time, or feel the benefits of the stone or anything like that, that's a really crazy feeling. Like, in the very best way. It's very similar to making these Reiki videos where I really put myself out there. I probably come off like a weirdo to the people who don't know what the heck I'm talking about. And to have been received so kindly and so with appreciation from so many people is something I can't put into words. It's the most fulfilling experience, like, short of my son telling me he loves me and doing something kind for someone, or showing that he's such a good person. Like, that fulfills me too, but this is a different type of fulfillment, and it's a very special and sacred connection, and I'm so grateful for that. I say it so often, but I need you to know how grateful I am. One last thing I want to address is that I've been getting a lot of comments saying that I look sad, or I look like I'm about to start crying or something. And honestly, like, between these things, like, if you ever see me cut something out, or like a cut, it's probably because there was a loud car going by, and I'm like rolling my eyes and being like, oh, being like a bit like cranky about it. But it's not a sad thing, and I'm not sad. I'm just like, I've always been kind of like, I don't want to say mellow, because I don't consider myself mellow either, but whatever. This is just how I am. I'm not sad. This is just a facet of my personality that you get to see through this video camera. I have many, many, many other facets, many other super goofy sides of myself, and all kinds of sides to myself. So I'm not sad. Don't worry about me. Oh, I'm having a little technical difficulties. My mic died, so I'm just coming back on to just say thank you again and let you know how much I love you, and I'm so appreciative. From the bottom of my heart, as always, namaste.